What time is it?
It's Happy New Year!
Yay!
It's 2025, which means we watched a whole lot of movies in 2024, and I bet y'all are wondering what were our favorite movies. I'm Kevin,
I'm Brian.
and we're the horror guys.
We are, yes.
And we're going to talk about some horror movies that we liked a lot.
You suddenly said that, and I got distracted. Like, how many movies did we watch last year?
Hundreds.
It was in the 300-ish range, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we had to narrow that down, and it was hard narrowing it down because there was a lot of them I liked.
A lot of new horror movies. I think there's
A lot
more.
of new, yeah.
Every year seems to, horror gets bigger and bigger. There's more new releases every year.
I like it. Yeah. And there's still plenty of old stuff that we hadn't seen that, we're catching up on too.
We probably didn't watch a third of the movies that came out this year.
Mm-hmm. So
well, Tubi helps.
In 2020, in 2025, we'll watch the 2024 movies.
Yeah. Some of them.
Some of them, yeah.
Well, we were holding off this episode for a few days until we got a chance to see that new Nosferatu movie because everybody was saying that's one of the best movies ever.
And we were so looking forward to that because that was going to be so good.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, we were intensely disappointed.
Both
Both of us were.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I sat in the theater and looked at my watch so many times.
Same here, yeah. It looks good. I mean, it's
It's a beautiful movie.
It's historically accurate with the costumes and the settings and the beautiful scenery and the cinematography. Some really interesting shots and Eggers does some
and the acting is good. There's
direction,
nothing wrong with the acting.
but it's just a slog of a story. It drags out. We didn't find it really entertaining, and we knew going in it was Nosferatu.
Well, I did.
Which is
for some
basically
reason,
Dracula.
I kind of considered it was like a reboot or a remake or a redo. Like something new.
It wasn't.
It's the same old Dracula story that we've seen 1,000 times.
And maybe if we hadn't seen it 1,000 times, we would be more forgiving of it. But we have, and we didn't feel anything new there.
Yeah, it's. I mean, Dracula. The original Nosferatu was creepy because of the black and white and the creature design and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Bram Stoker did it better. Francis Ford Coppola did it better.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think the Gary Oldman is still my favorite Dracula movie.
That's up there. Yeah,
I know a lot of people hate it because it's got a lot of crap added to it, but I think it was the most entertaining.
and it does follow. It does follow the Dracula story very closely. In fact, the original Nosferatu, when it came out, they ran into trouble because Dracula, the book and the play and the movie and stuff was all very new back then and very freshly copyrighted. And here comes Nosferatu, who's Dracula but not Dracula. And they tried to shut it down, and Nosferatu almost ended up being a lost film because they insisted that all copies be destroyed, and they really shut them down. But some copies did survive, and so it's considered a classic now.
I like the original black and white. I think it's very, very, maybe one of the best silent films.
It's
one of the best silent horror films for sure.
Very cool, yeah.
Yeah.
But the remake is not so cool.
It's the same damn thing in color.
We were kind of bored.
Yeah, we were very bored.
And Eggers is coming out with an extended version on Blu-ray, I hear.
Which
he was very excited
probably
about
not
that.
watch.
Because I was thinking, this is too long already.
Yeah, we were sitting in the theater, and I'm like halfway through this thinking, I'm going to have to watch this again to write a synopsis at some point. Okay.
So anyway,
look forward to our review for that when it comes to streaming.
It's not one of our favorites.
No.
Anyway.
So now that we've shown you we have no taste whatsoever.
Because there's a lot of people who disagree with us.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Nosferatu's getting a lot of love.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Nosferatu getting a lot of love, or is it Eggers getting a lot of love?
Yes, both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He will forever be known as Porn Stash Dracula to me. All right. Well, anyway, this time around, we're going to talk about our favorite films released in 2024. So we made a list of everything that we watched that was released this year, and we each made a top 10 list. Kevin's got his 10 favorites. I got my 10 favorites. But we have some overlap also. Mm-hmm. So we're going to start out talking about our individual picks, and then we'll talk about the ones we both chose. At the end, we'll also talk about some of the things we watched this year that weren't new releases that we liked.
That are in our favorites. Yeah.
Overall, we got 21 movies to talk about. We're not going to read the whole synopsis here, but we'll tell you where to find them.
And we'll give you a little, a reminder of what they were and a recommendation to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of years, I didn't quite remember what they were. So, yeah, we don't agree on everything.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, the way we do this, we will watch a movie and write the synopsis as we watch it, and then discuss commentary afterwards. And almost all of these movies we have seen once. So these are first impressions. Maybe if we saw some of these again a second time, they wouldn't be as good. But these are the ones that left an impression on both of us as we watch them the first time.
Yeah, for the new stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you watch something to 82 times and you want to tell us how terrible it is, well, that's on you because you watched it 82 times. But yeah, this is first impression stuff here that we do.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
You want to go first?
Oh, you go first. I see your first one here.
All right. Mine. None of these are in any special order. We didn't rank these because that's hard to do.
Yeah, it was hard enough narrowing down.
We don't do a rating system like 4 stars or 10 stars. We should
there were so
probably
many
do
good
that,
ones.
but we've done 1,800 movies at this point. It's too late. Oh, okay. The first one I'm going to put on here is a fairly recent one that we did called Curse of the Sin Eater. And this was back from episode 307 or weekly Horror Weekly issue number 307. There's a link in the show notes if you want to go read the full review. We're not going to do the full reviews here today, but yeah, I think it was just an interesting concept, and it had me thinking for a week afterwards, like, would I take that deal?
It is one that you would wonder about.
Yeah. It's a deal with the devil kind of movie is the basic point here. You get like $1 billion and all kinds of money and power and all that, but you see bad things. Bad things happen.
Yeah, it's a poor guy who's struggling, a working class guy, very, very lower class. And suddenly he's handed this. He can step into the role of a billionaire, basically. And but there's a catch.
There is a catch.
There's a
yes.
big catch. Yeah.
But it's not such a big catch that you might not want to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one. I like the ones where I think about it for time afterward. When the movie's over, like Nosferatu, and I'm like, shut this damn thing off. That is not my favorite movie.
It was weird and well done, and
Yeah, and it gives you
did
something to think about.
Did leave you thinking afterwards. I agree. I really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's your?
One of my favorites, Humane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is it's a alternate timeline, slightly futuristic.
Slightly
I guess.
future.
Yeah.
There's a plague.
Yeah, there's a plague, and the deal is that overpopulation is a massive problem.
Was there a plague?
No,
It's just overpopulation.
Well, disease and things are bad. Things are bad. You know,
For reasons.
There's disease and climate control,
Okay.
climate change, and everything. Famine is starting to kick in. All the world population, all the countries have decided they're going to cull a certain percentage of their population.
Which means every family gets to choose one person to go.
Well,
They don't have to.
Yeah, they don't have to, but it's a negotiation. Each country has to give up a certain percentage, and so it's in the United States, and there's incentives.
Money.
Cash incentives if you agree to, and it's a euthanized kind of thing. It's a peaceful death. But
So anyway, there's this.
it's a very rich family.
Yeah.
And the patriarch of the family gathers all his kids together and says, "Hey, guess what, kids? Me and your mom are gonna sign up for this."
Well, Mom has other ideas.
Yeah, and so do the kids. But the trouble is, once you agree to this, you are committed, and the troops show up. And this one guy, who's the government representative in particular,
A little gung ho.
oh, he's so gung ho.
It is very good, yeah.
Yeah, and
I've heard
it's darkly comedic, and the dynamic of this family as they work out. If this person doesn't go, we're going to pick another family member at random. So yeah,
And I've heard almost no buzz about this, other than how political it all was.
There's some political bents for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the government doing this thing, but it's not really political.
Yeah. But
well.
highly recommend that one.
Yeah.
Humane.
Okay, now my next one is kind of a fluff movie here. It's certainly not a great movie, but it's fun. Mm-hmm. Godzilla vs. Kong. Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire.
Okay.
I like the new Godzilla movies. They're stupid, but they look great and they're fun. They got a lot of action.
Fun in a stupid way.
You get King Kong, you got Godzilla, and you got a whole flock of new baddies. Big bad monsters.
Yeah. So
That's pretty much it.
It was very entertaining
It's not great. It's not going to win any Academy Awards, but it's fun.
for fun movies. Yeah.
Seems like there's two different Godzillas. You got the mean Godzilla and you got the fun Godzilla. And depending on which, I mean, we got a mean Godzilla kind of up later, but this is the fun Godzilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Again, we're not talking Academy Award winners here.
But it was good. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got next?
Late Night with the Devil.
Okay, that's
That one got a lot of buzz. And
a lot of controversial opinions on that one.
yeah. It's if you recall, it's a period piece. It's a 1970s TV show, talk show, and it gets complicated because the guy brings on guests and some real supernatural things happen.
Yeah, and I think this one really appeals to older people that actually remember those 70s talk shows and get the aesthetic.
I think that was a lot of it for me.
I think the horror
I do remember those shows like that.
The monster at the end, or the monster only shows up really at the end, and I could see that being kind of boring for people who aren't really just into the feel of the movie.
But it builds nicely, I thought. And
Yeah, very good. It's a very good one. Again, I think it appeals to you more if you remember the 70s.
Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, or if you want to get a taste of what the 70s shows were like. Yeah, I thought this one captured it really well.
It did, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, my next one is one that I want to see again and still have not had time for it.
I agree, too. I want to see it again.
I feel like I missed something.
Yeah, because
I enjoyed the movie tremendously, but people were talking about stuff that I didn't see. So.
Things that I've read about it afterwards. A very strong allegory for trans.
I saw the TV Glow from episode 288. Oh, we haven't been announcing the episodes.
Oh, whoops.
Curse of the Sin Eater was 307. Godzilla and Kong was 282. I saw the TV Glow from 288. Humane was 294. And Late Night with the Devil is 278. And there are links to all these shows in the show notes, so you don't have to write these down.
Yeah.
What I saw the TV Glow, though, is about two young people that don't have good family lives that kind of bond over this stupid TV show that looks really amazing when they're watching it.
But then it has a supernatural element to it, too.
And it does.
But there's also some mental issues going on and relationship issues and lots of glow from the TV, too.
And the ending is one of the more depressing endings that we get out of a movie, I think.
And it was kind of ambiguous at the end. It is one I'd like to see again, but it was good. Yeah.
If I had to pick all these movies to watch again this afternoon, I would probably pick that one.
Oh, me
because
too.
I think one viewing of that one was not enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of all these, I agree.
Oh, what do you got next?
Longlegs, which we discussed in episode 296.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nick Cage and his 3 minutes of screen time.
Well, I really liked how unrecognizable Nick Cage was, what a good job he did in this. I was really impressed with that. And I really liked I'm a big fan of Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, it's definitely a takeoff.
It had a vibe of that, where it's a smart, capable agent working by herself on this weird case that has maybe some supernatural elements. I don't think the Silence of the Lambs did, but this one definitely does.
I got a little confused with the doll stuff. But, I liked the Silence of the Lambs aspect of it. I thought Nick Cage was good, although he wasn't in it very much.
No, he's not. Yeah.
It's not one of my top 10 of the year, but it was very good.
Yeah, I thought Micah Monroe is the lead in that. I thought she was amazing.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And I've got kind of a weird story here. This one's kind of, well, not a weird story, a weird movie that I don't know why I picked this one. I wanted to put in a comedy. And we got Lisa Frankenstein from episode 272.
Definitely a comedy.
It is. Yeah, it's not really it's a statue that comes to life. So she doesn't actually build bodies in the garage. Unlike Angry Black Girl? Mm-hmm. She built bodies in the garage. This one isn't like that. But it's more of a take on the Johnny Depp, Tim Burton films.
Mm-hmm.
Looks just like those kind of films, and he actually even looks a lot like Johnny Depp in this. Yeah, I just thought that one was a lot of fun. You'll see, I'm not going for great acting or brilliant scripts. I'm just going for the fun ones.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't really a statue that came to life. Well, yeah, I guess, I mean, she's dreaming of the statue man.
Yeah.
But wasn't it actually his corpse?
True, yes. She falls in love with the statue on the headstone, and then the corpse gets up.
And the corpse itself reanimates.
But there's no bodybuilding.
And the more electricity that he gets, the more normal looking he gets, the more he heals.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's a tragic love story.
It's a lot like the zombie movie Warm Bodies, only I thought this was better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and darkly funny, and yeah, very well made. Yeah, I can't disagree with that one.
Now, here's the one that Kevin chose on his list, and I had to ask, which movie was that again?
Starve Acre.
From 297.
This is very
It's got Matt Smith.
folk. Yes, very folk horror.
Yes, very much.
Fine example of folk horror. And I thought that
Very much.
I thought that Matt Smith was amazing in it.
Uh-huh.
He was very good. Yeah. Yeah, basically they're out in the country. It's a couple and their kid dies tragically, and he's a academic kind of guy, and very science-based and rational and logical, except he finds this rabbit skeleton that his father left him, and finds out that his father was mixed up with all kinds of occult stuff, and basically the rabbit starts coming back to life.
Or is it
And-
a rabbit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it more than a rabbit? And there's other dark forces at work, and he gets more and more deeper into the magic. And
It's
yeah,
weird.
It is weird, but I thought it was cool how, he's struggling with his logical, scientific mind to grasp all these things, and it's literally happening in front of him. Yeah, I just thought it was really good.
I'm noticing the
whole
difference
vibe-
between
the
our
whole
two lists
vibe of
here.
it, and
I'm going for the big blockbusters that got tons of buzz, and you're going for the more obscure stuff.
well, Late Night with the Devil and Longlegs did.
Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Well,
my other choices, yeah.
which is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
The hard to find things.
a little bit.
My next one is episode 302. We talked about Strange Darling, which
This-
I thought was just hilariously weird.
It was very good, yeah.
I like the way it's told out of order,
That really makes it. Yeah, it's told in chunks.
in almost random order. So you
Yeah.
don't. We start off in the middle of this action, and you don't know who's doing what, or you don't know why it's happening, and then we get that later on.
Who's the bad guy and who's the good guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. It does fill it all in eventually.
Oh yeah, everything's clear at the end, but it's
But
not clear as you're watching.
The way
it.
the chunks are presented out of order, it's neat. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What do you got next?
I have, I lost my list. Oh, yeah, the Radleys.
It's the only comedy on your list.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose Humane has some points. to it,
Humane had
yeah.
a lot of humor in it. Yeah, yeah. The Radleys. It's a vampire family, which you do gradually figure out, and that's not really a spoiler to say that.
No,
Yeah.
that's the whole point.
Yeah, but their powers are different. They daylight doesn't bother them, and they can avoid blood, but if they do, it nerfs their powers. And
Should they or shouldn't they avoid the blood?
yeah, should they or shouldn't they? Yeah. And Damian Lewis plays twin brothers, and one of the brothers is the dad of the family, and the other is the uncle, who is full out vampire and just drinks and uses the powers. And they have hypnotic powers over normal people too. And yeah, it's just it's a complicated family dynamic and darkly funny. I really liked one of the issues they deal with, the young teen boy, especially the son. He's coming of age and exploring his vampire powers. With the uncle pushing him a little bit to embrace it. But the moral question, you got somebody that you really like, and they sort of like you. Well, you use your vampire power and make them fall in love with you. And is that really love then? Is that wrong to do? I liked how they dealt with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than one character does that with normal people, where they manipulate them. And is that real when they do that? Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, it was very, very, very funny.
Uh-huh.
All right. My last unique movie here is Heretic, one we just talked about last week.
Uh-huh.
Fairly recent release. Hugh Grant kidnaps two girls, and they talk about religion for 2.5 hours.
Well, when you put it that way, it doesn't sound
It doesn't
so good.
sound so interesting.
but it is really good.
I just like the philosophical and the religious side of it that they're arguing about, and he just gets creepier and creepier and creepier, more unhinged as it goes along.
And Hugh Grant is not playing a typical role. I
No,
liked that.
he's very different here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that one just stood out to me just because it was one of those ones you want to think about for a while again.
And it's mostly about the three characters, and all three of them are really good together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 people in a locked house, and there's not really a lot going on there. Just the 3 characters.
Yeah, mostly just them. Yeah. Very cool.
But you've got one with only 2 characters.
Yeah, You'll Never Find Me, which just really is 95% of it is just 2 people in a trailer.
From episode 296.
Yeah. It could have almost been a stage play, it felt like. Is a dark and stormy night, and this guy is there by himself, and it looks like he's up to something, or something's going on, or maybe he was about to kill himself or something, and there's a knock at the door, and it's a young woman. And she comes in, and they talk about stuff, and
They both have secrets.
they both have secrets. Yeah, and it gets more complicated as it goes on. Yeah, really like that one.
Mm-hmm. Very low budget, probably, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, just 2 people in a mobile home.
And, we talk about, sometimes movies having too much jibber jabber. But
Well, this is nothing.
this was
this one
mostly
and Heretic is nothing but talk almost.
mostly jibber jabber.
Yeah.
But they can do it right. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with jibber jabber if it's entertaining.
If it's entertaining, yeah. So now we're at the
we
point.
ranted about jibber jabber in the previous episode, didn't we?
We did, yeah. Now we're at the point where our unanimous favorites.
These
have
4 movies
converged.
were on both our lists.
Uh-huh.
What do you got first?
Abigail.
Which I'm going to say,
Little
I think I
ballet
enjoyed
girl.
this mostly because we went into it blind.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know what kind of creature, what kind of story it was going to be, and I got a surprise when we got a reveal, and I thought that was really good. Plus, it was really funny.
Bunch of bad guys abducting a rich little girl
Yes.
in the hopes of getting a tasty ransom.
And these are not the smartest criminals, but they have a plan, and it goes terribly wrong when they find out the girl's Noah. She thought they were.
And the characters are all, distinctive, the
Uh-huh.
kidnappers and the girl, and yeah,
It's-
everybody in it is good.
And it's very funny the way things go wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a crime caper gone bad.
But if you can see it blind without knowing what's going on, that's probably best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Next up, what do we got? Smile 2.
Smile 2.
Yeah,
Which
I didn't even care for the original Smile that much. It was okay.
I
It was
liked this
fine.
one better.
Oh, I like this one way better.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pop star gets called, goes to her drug dealer's house, and she sees this thing that will kill you if you don't commit suicide. What does it do?
Well, basically, it's a sort of a contagion
Yeah.
where you get it, and if you don't pass it on, it will drive you insane
Yes.
and drive you to kill yourself, basically, or be killed. You have to get rid of it. You have to pass it on, and if you don't, bad things happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
It looked like a very big budget movie with the musical numbers and stuff, and yeah, it just really looked good. I like this one.
Yeah. So did I.
And that was from episode 309. Going way back, one of the earliest ones probably on this list from this year is from episode 277, The Coffee Table.
Oh. What a dark.
This is not your typical horror movie.
What a dark comedy this is.
Yeah.
It's a horrible situation,
Something really bad happens, and the man tries to cover it up throughout most of the movie.
and it just gets worse and worse the more he tries to cover it up. And you're just cringing watching him suffer through this.
Uncomfortable cringing is really the point of this movie, yes.
Yeah, it's an international film, and yeah, really.
I forget,
really
was it
like this one.
subtitled? I think it was.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
But it's all right. It's super cool.
it's worth the read.
It's unique. Let's put it that way. I've never seen another movie like it.
Yeah, I like that.
And this one is probably on a lot of people's lists because you just hear about this one everywhere. Episode 305, we talked about, what was it?
The Substance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Demi Moore
Yeah.
and Margaret Qualley
An
and
aging,
Dennis Quaid.
an aging star finds a way to be young again.
By
Bad
using
things happen.
the substance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the scariest part of that movie was watching Dennis Quaid eat shrimp.
Oh, yeah. He's something in that. Yeah.
Wow.
He's a nasty man.
Okay. And again, I am not going to... Did you want to pick out one of these as your absolute favorite, or you want to just let it go? Because it's hard to pick a top one.
Yeah, it's so hard to pick a top one. Yeah, of my absolute favorite of the...
If you had to, but if you don't want to, you don't need to. Yeah, numbers are hard.
Okay, I'd go with The Substance.
Really? Okay.
I think so, of all these. It's hard. It's hard choice, though.
It is.
Yeah. How about you?
Oh, I'm not going to pick.
Oh, you're not? Oh, sure, make me pick. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to just go to the coffee table because it was so unusual.
Okay.
So much different than anything else that we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
There's no monsters. There's no curse. There's no magic. But it's just wow.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so now we're going to talk about some not so new films. Everything we've talked about so far was released in 2024, but we watch a lot of old movies too. Mm-hmm. Probably more old movies than new movies most years. And let's see, this year one of them we saw was from 2012, American Mary. It's about this medical student who gets hired to
Do
what does she do?
body modification.
Some simple piercings and stuff initially.
Initially,
And then things get crazier and crazier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know how people like things like
Implants.
and tongue splittings, and things that are not. I don't know if
More than ear piercings.
more than ear piercings, but not insane. Well, she goes
It goes a little over the
she goes
insane line.
further than that. Yeah, some of these modifications that people want are just crazy. But she's a qualified person, and but then there's some complications too. Some crime gets involved, and some various complications with it.
And I had not seen this one before. And
Yeah, I thought
it just
she would-
impressed me quite a bit.
I thought I went into it thinking it was going to be a slasher.
So did
she
I.
was just a slasher. No, she's not a killer at all.
She's a doctor.
She's helping people. She's helping people that want her work. Yeah.
What do you got? One of your not new favorites.
I'm gonna throw out Angel Heart from 1987.
Episode 275.
Mickey Rourke, directed by Alan Parker. This is probably one I bet I've seen it 10 times.
Okay.
I like it that much. I saw it when it came out in the theater, and currently have it on physical media because I
Mickey
like
Rourke
it so
gets
much.
hired to find this guy who's gone missing, but he's hired by a strange man who looks like the devil.
Yeah,
Who is
it's
he?
it's very-
Where is that guy?
It's very noir. It's a noir kind of. He's a private investigator, so it's a detective type story, and he's on the hunt, and has to follow the trail, finding this missing guy who's vanished.
Yeah.
And boy, I like it.
Speaking of noir, we've got a second podcast, Classics Weekly, from classicsweekly.com. Ding. And we haven't done a lot with it. We haven't had the time we thought we were going to have, but we've done half a dozen or so old classic movies. And I think one of my favorite ones that we've seen this year is 1942's Casablanca. Humphrey Bogart and Claude Rains and all kinds of people in that one. Mm-hmm. And I had seen it way back when and didn't appreciate it because it was just a movie on TV at some point.
Ingrid Bergman.
Yes.
Yeah.
This may be one of the best movies ever. I was very impressed with the Casablanca.
Yeah, so was I. I had never seen it all the way through.
Uh-huh.
I'd just seen clips.
Yeah,
So
and
this was nice seeing
You
the
get a
whole
lot of
thing.
cliched clips and stuff, and watch the whole thing. It's really good.
And I've seen that departure scene with the airplane, where they're talking and in front of the airplane. I've seen that spoofed. Probably my favorite spoof was Kermit and Miss Piggy reenacting that scene. And the wind from the propellers keeps getting more and more forceful, and Miss Piggy ends up getting blown away, from the
Wow.
wind. Yeah.
Not that I wanted to harp on the Classics Weekly too much, but we also did It's a Wonderful Life, which I don't know that I have ever actually paid attention through all the way through before.
I'm pretty sure.
It's super good, too.
Yeah, it is. And make sure you
I thought
see
it was
the
just a hokey thing.
and make
but
sure
no,
you
it's
see
really
the
good.
full version too, because there's a weird cut version out there on Amazon.
Numerous cuts, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, those two are maybe some of the best movies that I've seen, possibly.
Truly classic.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got another favorite, not new film?
I do Baghead from 2023, which was, I went into blind and, thoroughly creepy situation.
They've got a weird prisoner in their basement.
Yeah, and basically the premise of it is it's this creature that will bring back the dead for a short amount of time. Like you bring it out, and it's very hostile. It doesn't want to be there. It's definitely a prisoner. And you get like a minute of talking to someone you lost.
Uh-huh.
And it literally will, the incarnation of your dead person, your loved one or whoever will appear. Except if you go too long,
It lies.
it starts lying and becomes demonic, and it's still got that person's form. So it gets complicated with these people that are trying to use it, and things go badly. Yeah, and this thing, is conniving. It's got a mind of its own, and so it's plotting while you're trying to get information from it. So I just thought it was great.
And then there's one last movie that we both agreed on that did not come out in 2024. It came out in 2023, actually, but it didn't hit streaming until 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla -1 from episode 280.
Of all the Godzilla movies, this is still my favorite.
I think so, too.
I've seen many of the old ones, the modern ones. Yeah, I think my set is pretty complete on what I've seen. This is my number one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely the best Godzilla movie.
Uh-huh.
Because it's not really about Godzilla.
There's
It's about the
of
characters and the
a
people.
lot of the stuff about the people, yeah. And
Yeah.
yet Godzilla is there and very cool too.
He's mean. We
This
were
is
talking about the
Monster
fun
God-
Godzilla. This is the mean Godzilla.
This is the monster Godzilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, we've got 21 movies there, all very good
Mm-hmm.
in different ways. Some of them are a little oddball. Some of them are a little mainstream. But, yeah, we've watched all the movies.
And you should see them all too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we think. But let us know if you have some favorites that we missed.
I bet we did.
Or if there's any of these that you completely disagree with. Let us know. We love to hear from people.
A couple of our choices that I would think a lot of people would disagree with.
Yeah, maybe.
Some of these I've seen a lot of complaints on.
Or if there's any, super favorites that you had in 2024 that we missed.
Absolutely. Send us your favorites, and we'll mention it later on in another podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, tune in next week where we will be back to our usual format with 5 movies and some shorts. Until then, I'm Brian.
And I'm Kevin.
See you next week.
See ya.